And we have Sharon Dooley with the Small Business Administration. She's going to be talking about, and I appreciate Julie being here so we can get it on the Microplex. But she's going to, Sharon, would you come forward and have a seat, make yourself comfortable, and kind of give us the rundown. This is for mainly for you guys to know, and obviously this is the commissioner from down there, Ronnie Wilson, but also so that we can get the word out to other people that are potentially affected. So I'll let you get going.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioner, for having me here this morning. My name is Sharon Dooley. I'm with the U.S. Small Business Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. That's a lot, so I'll just say SBA disaster. We were deployed along with FEMA because all you guys are under President's Declaration. As of yesterday, it's 35 counties included in Texas, and they're still counting, they're still adding. So all of Eastland is there. We come out and we cover the gap between the uninsured and the underinsured to help with the disaster recovery. So we offer, because it is disaster, because there's different divisions of the SBA, we offer long-term low-interest loans to homeowners, renters, businesses of all sizes, and most nonprofits, including houses of worship that may have sustained damage. And this damage is from April 28th, and they cut off the deadline to June 5th. They finally gave it an ending date. So any damage happened to the storms, tornadoes, flooding, anything during that period is included in this presidential declaration. I said long-term loans, so it's 15 to 30 years to pay back. For homeowners and renters, the interest rate can be as low as 2.688% or as high as 5.375%. That's the highest it will go. For businesses, it can be as low as 4% or as high as 8%. And then you're on the higher end. If you can walk in the bank and get a loan right now, we say credit available elsewhere, then you're going to be on the higher spectrum of the loan. And then for nonprofits, the interest rate is 3.25%. That's just all across for nonprofits. Renters may qualify for up to $100,000 for their personal property that may have been damaged. Furniture, clothing, vehicle, anything they can shake up outside that house that they're renting, that's their personal property. So that's what the personal property covers for the renters. Homeowners may qualify for up to $500,000 to repair or replace their primary home, any damage to their primary home. Then on top of that, a homeowner may qualify for an additional $100,000 for their personal property as well, furniture, clothing, or vehicle. Then on top of that, a homeowner may qualify additional 20% of their verifiable loss for mitigation purposes. And that's to build back better and stronger from any type of disaster, because we don't get to choose what type and when the disaster comes through. So that's what that's for. Put in storm windows, do grading so it falls, water falls away from the home, do a new type of roof. It even includes building a safe room. That's included in mitigation purposes, so just to protect themselves for any other type of disaster. Then businesses may qualify for a maximum of $2 million unless they're a very, very large employer. So like I say, if it was a car manufacturer or a big manufacturer, that $2 million can go up. But businesses, that's a combination of two different types of loans. There's physical damage like everybody else. Then a business may qualify for economic injury disaster loan, which we call EIDL. That means they may not have received any physical damage, but because of this disaster, people don't know their business is open, or maybe debris was in the road, they couldn't get to their business. So when the deadline for physical for everybody is July 16th. That is the deadline to apply for the physical damage, July 16th. Economic injury for businesses only, because only businesses qualify for that economic injury. And that deadline is February 18th of 2025. And that's because when you first go out, you look at the physical. The businesses don't realize how much revenue they may have lost due to that. So that is a longer deadline. We ask three things: credit history satisfactory to SBA. And I say that because our credit criteria is lower because our loans come directly from the federal government, so there's no bank involved. So somebody can have a credit score as low as 575 to 580 and still be approved for one of these type of loans. Next thing we ask is that they have to have the ability to repay these loans. So on that part, somebody can have excellent credit but cannot stretch another monthly payment out of income, and that's a reason to be denied. And the third thing they ask is that they must, if they're approved, obtain and maintain any type of insurance. So if it's a homeowner, you're going to have homeowners insurance. If you're now considered to be in a flood zone, you're going to have flood insurance. So that's what they require to obtain one of these loans. It is any loan over $25,000. They do ask for collateral. They like to use real estate if it's available. That being said, if somebody does not have collateral, that does not necessarily mean they won't get a loan. They just like to be pledged if they have it. And I always tell them there is a way around it, because I've been in many disaster declarations, and they're like, I don't want a lien on my home. Well, if you take $24,999, there is no lien. So that $1 makes a difference. Then I always tell business that there's a way to almost get $50,000 without a lien, because you can do that on the physical and also on the economic injury disaster loan. So that's almost $50,000 a business can get without having a lien on their real estate. And with business, if they have equipment or other assets they want to offset that loan with versus using their building, they will work more on that. Everybody's, it's different for everybody's situation. It's different. That's why I can't tell everybody exactly what your interest rate will be. I'm not the loan officer, but I can tell you what the max and the minimum it will be. Let me make sure I cover that. So the good thing about these loans, we are here for long-term recovery. So it's no interest for the first 12 months on these loans. There is no payment due until the 12th month after they receive the initial loan proceeds. So if somebody was to have applied today, been approved today, applied and been approved and got money today, their first payment will not be due until this time next year, this very same day next year. Because we're here to help them, recover. So we don't expect you to get a loan and tell you 30 days later, you got to make a payment. They can take one of these loans, and if they're approved, they can use the SBA loan to pay their insurance deductible. So you can use that. They don't have to, we can't duplicate benefits. So if FEMA gave them some of, they have insurance, we can't duplicate what those agencies would do, but they can apply and be approved for an SBA loan for the total amount of their damages. When that insurance claims comes through, they're pledging to pay SBA back the difference when it comes through. So they don't have to wait. I know in other situations, other agencies, you have to wait till the insurance claims comes through. They don't for SBA. If somebody had a previous disaster loan or any federal loan, this does not stop them from getting a loan, be approved for a federal disaster loan this time. Only thing is, we can't consolidate those loan payments. So if a disaster happened last year or last month and they got a loan, they have to be able to make those two different loan payments on that monthly. And they do have to be current on any other federal loan that they have in order to be approved. I always encourage people, if you are denied, if you get a denial letter from SBA, I tell them to read it thoroughly. Because sometimes a denial is not an actual denial. It just means you need to submit more documentation. But I've been in a lot of disaster declarations, people see denial and they trash it. And then they come back around at the end and I'm like, well, I was denied an SBA loan. I'm like, well, can you tell me why? They was like, well, no. I'm like, did you not read your letter? It was like, no, I saw a denial and I trashed it. I said, well, you need to read it thoroughly because sometimes you just might need to submit more documentation. However, if somebody does get an actual denial, they have 6 months to file what we call reconsideration / an appeal. And we can still work with them as long as they get their documentation in or whatever. Sometimes people have a little stuff on their credit that they can go ahead and fix. And within 6 months, you can be approved for a loan. Long as they're in our system by the deadline, we can work with them and, they have that 6 months to file an appeal on that disaster deadline. Now, excuse me, I tell them that because it makes a difference, having to pay the loan now or pay it later, it makes a difference. But they're under no obligation to take the loan if they're approved for it. They can take some of the loan, all of the loan, or none of the loan. I always tell them it's best to have the resources and not need them, to need them and can't get them because our deadline has passed you by. Mm-hmm. Now they can go down to the, Cold Quit Park where they are. Mm-hmm. I know they're going to be here 7 to 7 in the morning, 7 in the evening. Supposed to close on Wednesday at the close of business. I don't know if they're going to extend it or not, but that right now, that is the 12th is the deadline so they can get it in there. That being said, they can also apply online at sba.gov/disaster, where they can call our 800 number at 1-800-659-2955. I tell people it's best to go when we have one of these disaster recovery centers on the ground because they can get face-to-face, one-on-one assistance. And actually, at these centers, they are actually typing their information in and putting their application in, and they know they're in the system. A lot of times people say, I can do it online, but they think they've been through it and they haven't completed the process. So now you're really not in our system and we can't help you if the deadline passes you by. I'm here for any questions. this is what I do. I come out and I give presentations, let everybody know what we do, and how you can help me is get this information out as far and as wide as possible. And Judge, I just got on the way here, I got an amendment to our fact sheet. That means more counties were added. So I will send it over to Shelby and you guys and let you know, okay, these are the counties there. But Eastland County is already in there, but we still getting more. So like right now it's up to 35 counties, and they're still being added every day.
Do you mind saying that phone number one more time, man?
1-800-659-2955. They can also call that if they are in the system and get a status update. And now, if they have applied, they can also go down to that DRC, Disaster Recovery Center, and they can pull it up and tell them where they are and what they need to do, or just where they are. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, Sharon was at the community meeting Friday, and that was one thing that I tried to tell everybody is you're a whole lot better off going to that Disaster Recovery Center, because you are sitting across from a human, and they can bring your stuff up right then, and and the other people that are, that might have problems with technology, they can just sit there, bring their stuff and have them submit it, and then it's right.
Exactly. And I mean, they can also call that 800 number, but to be honest with you, every time that 800, you call that 800, you're probably going to get somebody else different. So that's why I say it's best to go face to face.
Yeah. You happen to know how many people have showed up down there, or asked for any kind of
32. 32 showed up.
So 32 have asked for assistance.
Oh, I don't know. No, 32 showed up Friday for that meeting. I can look. I know it's so far. I can't tell you how many exactly have applied, but I know over $455,000 have been approved so far. And that's for not just one county. It's so far this whole declaration, but that's not counting for things that are still being processed. But so far, that's how much has been approved. So people are applying and people are getting assistance. So it's going to go up. It always does. It goes up because as they process our numbers, they show us the numbers.
And give me the deadlines again for everything.
The deadline to apply for physical damage is July 16th. And then for the economic injury for businesses, because only businesses can apply for that idle loan, it's February 18th, 2025. So that's July 16th, it's a little bit ways, but you still need to get in, because that's how we tell people. Everybody always say, well, how long does it take? Can't give you a definite answer because I don't know how long it's going to take you to submit all your documentation, but the faster they get it in, that's the faster they can get it processed.
And you said once approved, then it'd be a whole year before the payment is due? Does
Yes,
interest build up?
No, ma'am. No interest accrues for that first 12 months. Okay. So when I tell people, if you happen to come in some money, you want to pay it off early, there's no prepayment penalty. If you pay it off within those 12 months, before that 12 months over, that's interest, no interest. So you just loaning it and just paying it right back with nothing.
Y'all need to be financing cars.
But you know what? Now, if somebody had a vehicle that was damaged, they can do that. And in some instances, it depends on how much damage was done to that house. If they have a pre-existing mortgage, they may be able to refinance that mortgage into that disaster loan. But I always tell people it only makes sense if you're getting a lower interest rate than what your home is in already. Or if you're not getting a lower interest rate, but you don't want to pay for 12 months. That's another thing. So we do have the ability to refinance some mortgages.
Good deal. Well, do you need anything else? This is your area down there, but of course it affects all of us.
Glad you're there helping them all you can.
And I have a card. I'll give you a card if there's any community meeting. I'm gonna be going out on vacation on Thursday, but hopefully they'll get somebody that works as hard as I do to take the place, because our job is to get this information out and make sure everybody that needs the help gets it and fully understand exactly where we're going, what we're offering. Because a lot of people here loan, they're like, I don't want a loan, but you got to listen to the terms, because sometimes it may be your only option, but then you have a year to get yourself, recover and get yourself back to where you can take care of everything.
Yeah, Sharon, of course, has been doing a lot of traveling with all these disasters and stuff, and so she told me up front, said, don't get between me and that vacation. She said, somebody will be here.
I can't tell you who, but hopefully they'll send somebody that, still, because I'm going on vacation, but I still set things in motion. Okay, I'll get back on the 2nd. I'll do this on the 8th. So
Yeah.
even if I got to do it virtually, because I'm committed to making sure everybody gets it.
We appreciate that. Well, you done.
Okay.
Have a good time.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.